Okay, in this session, we're going to learn how to create a tournament in Tournament Lite. So in order to do that, we just hit the Create button. Once we get in here, we'll have the Setup Basics. This is where we can name our tournament whatever we would like. Start date. Start date is important in terms of when the players will be able to access the tournament. So again, just the best practices on that, I would pick the day that the actual tournament starts. So I'm just going to pick today. End date is important if you live in one of those climates where a thunderstorm might be able to interrupt the plans for today or have a rain out. So again, at 11:59 p.m., the day of the tournament or the day of the end date, this tournament will go to completed. And if it does that, you won't have access to the team assignments or the players tab anymore. So again, if it's just a one-day event, you can set it up for a one-day event like this. But sometime during the day, if it rains out, go in and move the end date to one day further. Again, once you complete this tournament, you can't go back and edit these dates, so be careful there with what you're thinking. You can pick the number of rounds that you'd like to play, 1 through 4, and then again, type in the name in which the tournament's going to take place, probably your home course there. Hit the next button. Here we're going to select our round type, 18-hole event, front 9 or back 9. Also selecting the default, men's tees and a ladies' tee. So again, just picking one of each. Even if there are no ladies or no men playing in your event, you still have to pick them each as well. Configure your tournament scorecard. When you're doing this, this is again for something if you were to have like an event where you're taking your normal golf course and you're switching it into a par 3 event. You can switch these into changing the pars or the stroke allocations. And that's only going to be for this particular tournament that we're setting up, but make sure that when you do that, you do hit the save button. So that's editing par and hole handicap. Tee time settings, you can pick either sequential tee times or shotguns. If you pick sequential tee times, you can hit this button here and pick times, let's say starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, tee time interval, maybe at your course might be 8 minutes. Or if you're going to have a shotgun, shotgun's going to go off at maybe 8:30 in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, and you can set up that as well for your shotgun start. So here we're going to just run sequential tee times. Round format, again, same thing here. You can pick whatever you would like. If you hover over the little eyes here, it'll tell you what the formats are, or also just check the knowledge base article for better explanations of what these events are. For this event, I'm going to pick a stroke play and best ball. I'm going to pick 2 best balls we're going to have foursomes here. I'm going to, same thing with flights. You can enable or disable flights depending on what you want to do for your event. And same thing for handicap mode. We can either full handicap with a capping percentage. If we wanted to put like a cap for the men at 36 and a cap for the ladies at 40, we can do that. Or we can play it at a percentage of handicap. Maybe we'll go, on best ball event, maybe we'll go 90 and 95%. Or Peoria system, where the computer randomly picks which holes players play over par there, or no handicap. Again, maybe for a scramble, you're going to do no handicap for this event. Again, hitting the blue button next will just move us on. Tiebreaker options. Again, the USGA tiebreaker method here. You can go hole 1 going forward, hole 18 going backwards, hardest hole, whatever your club normally does, but the USGA usually has things right there as far as what the recommended method are. Captain's options. Again, for this event, it has blocked it out, but otherwise, captain's option would allow you to add or replace a player on their team during a round. The individual players can do that, but the way it's locked out now, the tournament organizer is the only one that has control of that. The GPS options, again, just a great way to add value to your tournament, so read up on that. Tournament supporters, if you as the admin want to add somebody else to help you with the event, you can just start, you add them in the upper right-hand corner as a user, and then as you create them, this would allow this gentleman here to be my supporter and have access to this tournament. For this particular format, we can choose to have either individual skins games, best ball skins games, or both. And when I check that, it'll allow me to have carryovers. That's where if players tie on holes 1, 2, and 3, and somebody gets a skin on 4, he ends up getting four skins there. So you can either enable or disable carryovers. Same thing with the best ball skins there as well. And then finally, team editing. If we want to have team editing, this just allows the players or the team to edit them themselves. If you don't check this, then you are the sole person that can edit these teams. But again, for some of the events, it's fun to have the option to have people name themselves. So I'm going to check that. Once you hit this Create My Tournament Now button, it's going to finalize everything and get it ready for you to manage your tournament.